Hi, I'm glad that you could join me. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. So lately the debate in Zambia has been about Patson, Daka and Enoch Mwepu. Should they stay on at Red Bull Salzburg, or they should be looking at new pastures? Personally, I think they should be looking at breaking new grounds. Over the weekend, they won what is their third successive league title with Red Bull Salzburg, and already that tells you that progress has been made. Beyond that, on that local front, they have also won the cups in the last few seasons. Of course, that also tells you that progress is being made, like I said earlier on. But crucially, it tells you that they've won everything that is there to be won at Salzburg. In other words, they've reached their ceiling of what is there to be won at Salzburg. If you asked me a question of should they move before the start of the season, I would have told you maybe to wait and see how the season pans out, because these guys have been showing a lot of promise. Remember, in the last 2 seasons, they've been very prominent in this Salzburg team, especially this season, which has seen Patson score 24 goals and has seen Enoch Mwepu make a lot of appearances. So in this video, I'm basically just going to look at my thoughts, why I think they need to move, and maybe look at new fronts, and possibly look at what destinations would be ideal for them. Earlier on today, I did a write-up on the same subject, but for the sake of those that may not have read that, and for the sake of those that might want a few more pointers as to why they need to move, I think this is the video that might save those interests. So like I said earlier on, I think these guys have reached the ceiling of what they can do at Salzburg, and it's time that they moved on. I think they need to move on because, if you look at the Austrian league, with due respect to what it has done for them, this league is ranked 12th by UEFA on their seasonal coefficients. And so what that tells is that, in my view, it is one of the third grade leagues in the world. They need to be looking at leagues that are ranked maybe from between 7th and 10th, which I call the second grade leagues, or leagues around those numbers, leagues like the Dutch league, a league like the Portuguese league, and even a league like the French league. I think those leagues will offer them time to play against tougher opponents. They offer them time to play in tougher domestic competitions. They also offer them a chance to try and perform under tougher conditions, tougher environment altogether, and that is one of the things that you need if you're going to develop further. Remember, these boys are just 22, so it means they are still on the way to developing. They might be hitting peak in the next 3 to 4 seasons, and so between now and that time coming, it's important that they make a shift to a league that is going to prepare them to one of the top most leagues that they might be looking to play in. This French route, or the Portuguese route, or the Dutch route, is one route that most African players have used in the past. DJ Drogba went through the French route. Aubameyang went through the French route. World over players like Casemiro or James Rodriguez went through the Portuguese leagues. So as much as we may be thinking of them going to the Premier League, maybe they need to make a step up to one of those leagues to further develop and further be prepared. What do leagues like the French league or the Dutch league or the other league offer? One of the things that it offers is that it gives you the patience to further develop. Whilst the other leagues elsewhere will have a lot of pressure on you to perform week in, week out, these leagues will not give you as much pressure as that. Of course, the pressure to perform is always going to be there, regardless of the league which you are playing in. Even in our own Zambian league, there's that pressure to perform. But I think the pressure that you will find in the Premier League cannot be compared to the pressure that you may find in the Dutch league, for example. And so the fact that they might be, it gives them chance to go on and perform, but still gives them the chance of being patient enough. I think that is one of the reasons why some leagues like those should be considered. Beyond that, it also gives them a chance to further develop. You see, the pressure in the Premier League is unforgiving. The demands in the Premier League are unforgiving, and so just one or two show-ups that might not be considered satisfactory, and then the supporters are going to be up in arms. The board is going not to maybe approve how one is performing, and so it necessitates that they move. Beyond that, a league like that will give our boys, I think, a chance to play a good number of games, maybe 3/4 of the games, which the other top leagues might not afford them. You see, development is about stages. You need to begin to play from one stage and on to another. A French league, I think, would give them a chance to play more. Remember, we need them to be playing for not only for their own development, but also for the country. And above all, like I said earlier on, they are going to be hitting peak in the next 3 to 4 seasons. So it's important that by the time that period comes, they would have played enough games that would have prepared them for all that is at the top. I know the thought of them wanting to play in England could be there. The thought of us wanting them to play in England, in Spain, in Germany could be there. But then if they are going to go into a league like that, I think they would need to join a team that has stability in terms of management, stability that has a team that has stability in terms of what their identity has to be going forward. When you look at this, I think clubs that have just been promoted and might not really be the best place for them to go to, because at a club like those, they are always limited in terms of patience and in terms of time that they can afford to someone, and so the pressure might be unforgiving. Beyond that, what clubs like those do is that they tend to give new players the burden of carrying the team forward. I do not think that would be ideal for players that are 22. Of course, there are certain special cases for players, but I don't think we want to subject our boys to that. When a team puts a burden on you of keeping them afloat, or a team puts a burden on you of hitting certain targets, it might be too much for a player that is still developing. Ideally, they should also be looking at a club that has a track record, if they are going to play in a league like England, a track record of further developing players. You'd be looking at a team like Southampton, for example. Over the last few years, they've churned out some of the best players that have gone on to compete at the highest of levels. Sadio Mane, for example, Virgil van Dijk. That is the mode of a team that they would be looking at. In Germany, a team like Eintracht Frankfurt or even RB Leipzig would be a good option. I know people would say RB Leipzig is a big club. Yes, they're a big club, but I think this is a club that has overachieved, so to say. I think looking at what their plan was and where they are, I think they are ahead of schedule. Any of the top teams in Portugal would be a good destination as well. Remember, these are clubs that are watched world over. Beyond that, if they're going to go to one of the top grade leagues, you'd also be looking at the possibility of playing time. I think they would need to play maybe, say, 50% of the matches. At a level like leagues like those are details that are discussed before one signs a contract, how much playing time they are going to be given, how much faith the coach has in them. Are they going to be a big part player? Are they going to be playing week in, week out? Are they going to be a very important player for the side? Or, just one of those players that are going to be relied upon from time to time. And so if they can get, say, a promise of 50% playing time, that would be a good option. But above everything else, it should be about them developing further. On the footballing side, when you look at them as individuals, physically I think they have the right makeup, they have the right engines. If you want to look at both the basic or the complex motor qualities, I think they have what it takes. They are well built, they are able to adjust to a league that wants them to play slow, a league that wants them to play at the highest of tempos. They're able to adjust. You saw how they performed in the Champions League. It was a step up from their usual tempo in the Austrian League, but they still managed to step up to that. And so even their injury history so far is very good, and so they are suited for any league at any particular time, as long as it is the right time and the right offer comes in. On the mental side of it, I think there isn't much that we can say. It's out there. It's easy for everyone to see. Look at what Patson Daka was subjected to the time that he was playing at Power Dynamos, the time that he made his international debut, and in his early days with the national team, the amount of abuse that he suffered, and to see where he has reached thus far tells you how much of a mental fortitude he has. The same can be said about Enoch Mwepu in terms of his mental makeup. On the other side, you'd be looking at their technique. Technically, I think they're very sound. Enoch Mwepu, we've seen the way he carries the ball, the way he's able to execute those passes, the way he can help his team in ball retention. Similarly, you've seen how Patson's hold-up play has improved over the years, how his first touch has improved, how his first time finishes have improved, and so on the side of technique as well. These boys are well advanced, but of course there's always room for improvement. Tactically, very key in the European leagues. Over the years, I think we've seen these guys develop their tactical side, and their tactical versatility is one that is admirable. Enoch Mwepu has played at right back for Salzburg. He's played in the heart of defense at times. He's played at the tip of the diamond. He's played, either left or right of the diamond. At times, has even sat as side by side in the heart of the midfield in a flat 4-4-2. All that speaks volumes as to how much he has developed. In the case of Patson, Daka, of course, over the years he has played as a wide forward, he has played as a center forward, and has still continued to give the best. And so when you look at it from that angle, I think on all the four major aspects of player development, or the four basics that you require from a player physically, mentally, technically, and tactically, they are very sound. Crucially, what has cost most Zambian players that have gone to Europe over the years, or that have made big moves, is the issue of discipline on the moral side. What these players do off the pitch. So far, these boys have showed that they are able to hold their own. They've shown that they know that it demands a lot of them morally to be able to perform at the highest of levels, and so far they've done very well. I think they are still going to continue on the same trajectory, and so this also tells us that they could be ready for a step up. Now, as much as we would have what we want to see from them, as much as fans, as supporters, as whoever we are, we have what we desire for these boys. Crucially, it's about what they themselves want, and most importantly, what plans their management team has. Over the years, Freddie Canote and his team have proven that they have what it takes. They are astute to know what the next move for these boys could be. Even at a time like this, I think we're going to require the same from them. Let them do their best that they can, and I believe they are still going to do it. Remember, it's not just about making a move, but it's about making a move that is going to help one progress. It's about making a move that is going to help one move from one level to another. It's about making a move that positions one to ensure that their potential and all that is given to them is fully utilized. But remember, it's always important to strike when the iron is still hot, and this is, I think, the time that the iron is still hot. The boys have made a name for themselves. Their progress has been well marked, and there cannot be any better time than now to make a move. But that move will be very key in determining how far they can go in their careers. So whichever way you look at it, it's important that the move is made, but the move has to be the right move. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video.